Or it'll, I'm just gonna put this here. The bruises go away. Let me see. Do not. Interesting. And there's another one that I said. Complete another one. Love. Little motivation. Motivation. Hello, hello. If you're joining the live, I cannot know who it is unless you comment because for some reason YouTube doesn't let me know and I can't like click y'all names or nothing up here. Boop boop. I wonder what other people are doing on live. I don't watch people on live on YouTube. Hey. Thanks for popping on in. Is it Bashir? Is that how you say your name? That's a cool name. It's the first time I've heard the name. Just here working, waiting on people to get in here so we can catch on up. I'm doing good. How are you? We get caught on up on everything we was talking about yesterday. I don't know if you guys were in here yesterday, but it was a good old time. If y'all haven't seen that live, y'all gotta go back and watch it because it was crazy. I would just be continuing on that. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the United States. Where are you from? Hi, everybody. If you're joining the live, I cannot know who's in here because YouTube won't tell me. So drop a hey, an emoji, a winky face. Hey, Cassandra girl, what's going on? How y'all doing? I'm 23. How you say your name? Nerty? Is that how you say it? Or Nuti? How old are you? Nice to see everybody. Oh gosh, it's so many of y'all in here. I'm not used to y'all being here. Someone's your birthday? Ooh, happy birthday. Motivation. Motivation. How old you gonna be, Cassandra? You know, birthdays are important. We should be celebrating, having a good time. Where everybody from? So many bodies in here. Wow, this is the most people I've ever had in my life before. It's the most people I've ever had. Y'all, I'm sitting here, I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, and I want to talk about it. I don't know. Do y'all know what Grey's Anatomy is? Have y'all watched Grey's Anatomy? The doctor show? Listening to Grey's Anatomy and playing on Minecraft. I am from the United States. Where are you from? Thank you guys, everybody who's liking the live, typing all emojis and such. I appreciate you guys. Dude, I don't know if y'all ever heard of the show, but if you haven't, it's like a doctor show, and it's like, you know, just going over surgeries and stuff surrounding surgeons. And, oh, thanks, Cassandra. I appreciate that. Feel free to check out the videos, too. We're changing some things up, but I'll be excited for you guys to be with us. It's going to be a good time. First video should be going up next week. Next week? Is it next week? Lord. What's today? Lord have mercy, yeah. But yeah, Grey's Anatomy. I'm watching it because it's a binge show to watch. It has a lot of seasons and episodes, but the storylines begin on my last freaking nerve. Was anybody in the live last night? Any of y'all on live with me last night? Oh wow, we dropped pretty quick. It's crazy. Right, I did that too. Look at how this works. Yep, I like that. So, I'm second quick. Remove my blanket? Why? Can't remove my blanket. It's cold. It's cold where I am. How's everybody doing? What y'all do today? Waiting to see if my peeps who was in here yesterday gonna get on too, so we can continue what we were doing yesterday. What y'all up to? What y'all got going on? Appreciate you guys. Whoever liked the live, I appreciate you guys. Oh, I see what's happening now. I'm also playing my Minecraft right now. I was watching the show and playing my Minecraft. But now I'm just getting on live because I told the peeps that I would. Which friend, son? Which friend? Am I the friend? Yesterday was crazy. I don't know if you guys came. Were y'all in here yesterday? Were some of y'all in here yesterday? If you don't comment, I won't know because YouTube don't tell me shit. So. Pay attention to y'all for a second. Turn this off. Crazy stuff, crazy things. Yesterday we were talking about my crazy Queenie boss who, baby, if you didn't know he was a man. My name is Haley. Well, hopefully she pops back in. I don't see her. Unless you guys comment, I won't know. Because I literally can't see anybody who's joining. Like, that's weird. YouTube's, like, live setup is kind of, So, which is a little bit more like TikTok. TikTok will let you know, like, everybody who's joining in, people who like the live, things like that. And YouTube got to help on that, so maybe I got to submit a thing with them. But, yeah, we're talking about my Queenie boss yesterday. If you don't know what a queen is, it's basically a very feminine person, right? Who probably doesn't know he's feminine. Hi, Yada Bear. Who doesn't know that they're feminine? So we had ended on him, and I think I have my list on here on my tablet, but we had ended on, let me see. There was a few strange people in here. Oh, not YouTubers restricting your comment push here. I should be nasty in the thing. I think we had, where we stuff at? Oh, right. I'm waiting to see if Silly Billy gonna get on too. Or girl Silly, see if she get on, because I want to make sure she can see the rest of the list too. We're talking about. Because of course, y'all, I wrote it down. I must write it down, or otherwise I'm gonna forget. I feel like there's some stuff that I'm still forgetting that he went through. That, like, did I put that on here? Yep, hold on, let me see. No, I forgot to. My day was good, Cassandra. How was your day? What you do today? What y'all do? Work? Dude, what was the other thing? Did I? Woo! Does that work? I see that. Yeah, I can see that. Other 611 tenants. Hey yo, anybody who's in here, make sure to drop a hi or an emoji in the chat because I don't know if you're in here or not because YouTube does not tell me nobody's name. I'm remembering stuff while I'm looking at y'all. Other stuff that happened underneath the Queen's regime. Oh, that's good. That's good. Went to school. I see that. I see that. I feel you on that. But yeah, we were talking about My Little Queenie Boss yesterday, and we got through most of the list of all the things that happened to him, his karma, as we were watching his karma unfold. So we're gonna get to the rest of that. Actually, further diving into like the electrical thing. Further, if I'm diving into that, after the building, that building that had We Energies to shut it down. After that building shut down, right? Like when they were scrambling to put people in hotels, the tenants were acting like they were stupid. Some of them were saying like, "Oh, yeah, I saw it." Yeah, they was like, "Oh, well, you know." Some people were like, "Oh, I want to pick my own hotel," and then the other ones was just like, "Okay, we'll let you put us in one." And then they had to figure out where to put them all. Some of them had pets who wasn't supposed to have pets. Some of them had pets, and they sent them to a hotel that had roaches. It's not funny that they went through that. It's funny because it just more and more stuff kept happening to him. And just looking at him, it was just so his karma, like his karma in full blown insane behavior. Insane behavior. That was so funny. I'm wanting to see if Silly Billy's gonna get on, even though I'm pretty sure she's gonna watch it back, but still. So yeah, just going through the list of that, like, you know, then the ownership is, y'all know they don't like to pay people. So they literally, the tenants who went and got their own hotels, who had to pay for the I think they was in there for like three to 5 days. The tenants who had to stay in the hotels and they paid out of pocket, they were waiting for weeks, probably months until I don't know, I left, so I really don't care now, but weeks until they got their money. And they kept asking when they were going to get their hotel reimbursement. And that's why I was going to them, like, why would you pick out your own hotel instead of just letting the company pay for it outright? You're strange. But I mean, hey, maybe it worked out for them in the long run because the hotel that they sent them to had roaches, which was insane because the hotel was new. They just got done building it. So I was just like, what is the odds? It's just things kept happening. Things kept happening to him. Karma is the biggest bitch, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you're a vicious, vindictive person, karma's gonna come for you every time. Karma's gonna eat you alive. Because, you know, that's yin and yang. You sow a bad seed, you get a bad harvest. So what is the odds that hotel just be built, and right after this got done being built, it's infected with roaches? That's insane. Like, that's insane. That's insane. What are the odds of that? You low-key feel like Egypt and the original, what is it? Egypt and the Israelites. They, you know, if you don't put no blood on your door, the frogs and the bugs and everything is coming. It's raps. Hard times. On top of that, one of our biggest properties, if not the biggest house besides the sorority house, they threatened not to pay their rent. Which this portfolio was very broke, so they couldn't miss out on no money. And these kids, like, rent was like $8,700 a month. Now note, this house was like, how many bedrooms was in there? Did those girls also convert that into a 17-bedroom too? Yeah. It was like a 17-bedroom house, big old mansion, and the girls converted it, and it looked pretty cute in there. It was an old building, but they rent was like $8,700 a month, and they threatened to withhold their rent because things weren't getting fixed. Oh, how could I forget that? Their top porch. Their top porch was caving in. Literally to the point where the contractor has said that if they didn't get that fixed right away, that all it took was the right amount of snow and it was going to come down. It was going to come down. It was going to come on down. And so the pillars were leaning. Like the pillars were literally like scrunched in and like about to fall over. That was a lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm writing this down as I go. What else? And it just keeps going. It just keeps going. London Bridge is falling down. London Bridge is falling down. Yep. There was one property that we wasn't able to sell. Like it was really hard. Well, eventually, Ben, my coworker, got it sold to some guys for a discounted amount of rent because this apartment had a squirrel problem. And on one of Ben's tours, the squirrel was running through the house, and the applicants ran out screaming. Cassandra, what question? What question? I answered every question. Unless you have put a different one. Last thing I see for you is it says 3 people. Cassandra, how old are you? Seem a little young. Squirrel came through the apartment, was acting a fool. Oh my God. After that, let me see. Yeah, oh my God. So one of our tenants, once again, I was barely there for any of this stuff. Most of this stuff I was not there at all. And one of like maybe 3 of these things I was there during like the aftermath when it was not really that bad. But like this is why, I'm gonna get into that in a second. But then there was a tenant who like we had one property where the tenant fell through the porch. Completely different property. The tenant fell through the porch. I'm not laughing at the tenant falling through the porch because that's terrible. It's just all of this happening underneath his regime. All of this is happening underneath his leadership. He tried so hard to destroy Kiera and get rid of her. It's insane. I don't think I'll ever get another chance like that again to watch somebody reap the harvest of their bad karma. Insane. Our maintenance team had to walk in on a unit. I don't know. We don't know why to this day, why they walked into that unit, but they walked into the unit and the man had pleasurable toys all over his apartment floor. It was like 11 of them. And this is what pushed me to be like, Christian, are you absolutely positively sure that you're not, you know what I'm saying? Because while me and Ben were just like, oh, okay, he has toys on the floor. I mean, I'm unfazed, I'm grown. Everybody has toys. I mean, who doesn't? We all get there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Me and Ben, we realize it, move on. Christian is over there analyzing. When I say analyzing, he got the video in hand. And this tenant is a man. The tenant is a man. And all these toys are male toys. Okay, male pleasurable toys. This is Christian for like 20 minutes. I kid you not. And you know me, I'm just on the side, so I'm not really fully paying attention to him. I kid you not, 20 minutes go by, and he's still. And then out of nowhere, he goes, why is there so many? Me and Ben looking at each other like, you still looking at that video that maintenance took of all those male pleasurable body part toys? Why are you counting? He was like, yeah, it's like 11. That's a immense amount. That's an immense amount. Maybe Diddy's little son. You know what I'm saying? But that's but why do you know that? Why are you counting them? Why are you so observant? What's going on here? But you have a girlfriend? Once again, who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell her? Who is going to tell her? Because it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me. Who's going to tell her? Because it's not going to be me. Because why are you analyzing that video filled with the thing that rides with slillos, kilos, jillos? Why are you looking at those? Why are you stuck on that? And me and Ben, you could tell when me and him locked eyes, we like this. Oh. Crazy work, Yana. Crazy work. Crazy work. Because why are you looking at those? Why are you analyzing the video? He's rewinding it. He's rewinding it. It's all making sense. It's all making sense. It's all making sense. Like, he's like a dude in a clear closet. Like, we're looking at you in the closet. And you're telling us that can't be. Say it ain't so. Oh my God. Fake news. False accusations. And I'm just like, I don't know any straight man personally, because Ben is a straight man. I don't know any straight man who would analyze a dildo video and count them several times and sit there and look like you're in deep thought. This is him. Analyzing male body part pleasure toys. I've never witnessed a straight man ever doing that. As a matter of fact, they're just like, okay. Ben was like, yeah, okay, that's nice, thanks. But it's a Christian. You like that, huh? I'm pretty sure he left the office and went to go grab his lunch. I must stop. He must do time. You must do time. I can't. He has to go take a little break, Yana. He has to run to his house and grab his lunch. Oh my God. He lives across the street. You're across the street from the office. Why did it take you 40 minutes? Lord. And lastly, on my little list here, we had another tenant's whole roof cave in with water. It caved in with water. And he had to deal with that. Now, remember, this portfolio is broke, y'all. It is broke. It's broke. So all these expenses, all this stuff that he's having to pay for, all this stuff, like, you can just possibly imagine all the money that they're bleeding right now. And they're already in debt. They're already in debt. Already in debt. And it's just bleeding dry. And personally, I don't know how they didn't fire him. I think that's the only way I could think about it, y'all. That's the only way I could think about it. It had to be that he was tuning up that booty. He was tuning it up. He was tuning it up, and there was nothing we could do about it. Nothing could be done. Because I would look at him and be like, how? And I mean, at the same time, though, this was a very young company, so they really didn't fire anybody, to be completely honest with you. They were pretty lax on the termination portion, if you will, right? It's a young company, okay? Rick came from, knowing what it's like to be an underling. He worked his way to the top, basically. He started off as a leasing agent and worked his way all the way up to the partner of Harmonic. Or the owner. Insane work. I'm just like, I don't know, because he literally was the opposite of Kiera. Well, no, actually worse. If I had to, I would prefer Kiera be my boss over Christian any day. Any day of the week. I would much rather hear her be my boss than Christian. any day, because not only was Christian emotionally unstable, having an identity crisis, don't know what his sexual orientation is, he also didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He knew how to smile and be a people person. He knew how to put on the fake smiles. He knew how to put on the personality. He knew how to customer service, which is basically just being a little bitch. He knew how to do all that. But that's about it. That's as far as it goes. He knew how to make a contract. I'll say that. Yeah. He knew how to do a contract. I would definitely say that. But anything outside of that, the only reason why he was surviving was because of me helping him manage his schedule and taking on a lot of his shit. And then corporate being hands-on in everything. This dude could not make a decision without including him. I'm talking about he didn't know if he could wipe his ass before he got to call corporate. I've never seen somebody who was so eager to take on somebody's role, need so much assistance in my life. Like, why am I hearing of these people's name every day? Like when Kiara was our boss, we heard about corporate maybe 2 to 3 times a week, maybe. And it was never anything like she needed help with or that she was struggling with. It was never nothing like that. Probably like an update or something that she truly could not answer on her own or would not know how corporate would take it. In a special case, she would involve them. But anything outside of that, no. No. Like, you're insane. So the fact that we was here in corporate every day, you're a loser. Like, and it's so crazy because he used to call Kiera a loser. And I used to agree because she used to be looking all sad and shit, puppy dog eyed when me and him was cool and she had this and piss us off. And we were looking at her like this. It's just crazy. Man, he is comedy gold. He is comedy gold. If I was ever to be a comedian, I assure you he's going to be in every single set. I cannot leave him behind. He is money. I cannot leave him behind. Him or her. Nobody in that company, to be completely honest with you. Because it will be a disservice to the community. A disservice to the community. Like, insane. Yeah. I don't even know. Crazy stuff. But you know what? Dealing with people like him is the reason why you let God go to bat for you. You let God go to bat for you. Don't fight. Let God do it. Like we were talking about yesterday. Just let it go. And don't get me wrong, I ain't perfect. I'm not the saint, okay? I'm not Jesus. Listen, motherfuckers get the rise out of me too. I get frustrated and pissed off too. I get annoyed too, all the time. But the way that I see it is that you are allowed to be angry for a time being, but then eventually you need to let it go. Eventually you need to move on. Because if you don't, that's just going to eat you alive. You're going to be a miserable person just like them. Like, that's how you should never be jealous of people who do people dirty. Like, you should never, like, especially if you see people who, like, do people dirty and they get what they want, you should never, like, get mad about that, because you need to understand that they're a broken person and they're not going to a good place. They're not. Personally, I believe that everybody has a spirit and a soul. I think everybody has a spirit. And your spirit is eternal. When your vessel, this body, dies, your spirit not going with it. That's why when you die, people grieve you, because even though your body is physically here, your spirit has gone. So that connection that you have with another spirit, they don't have access to you in the same way anymore. And that's why it's so disheartening. So I truly believe that everybody goes somewhere. And bad people, when the more wickedness they do here, the more they worship this place as their heaven, because they know when they die, it's going to be eternity of suffering. And it's so funny to me when people basically try to say, like I've heard people, and it's so funny. I've heard people say like, "Oh yeah, when I get to hell, me and the devil is going to be we're in cahoots. We're going to be best friends." Blah, blah, blah. You think that demon is going to want anything to do with you? Yeah, y'all gonna be in cahoots while he's turning you on a spit over the fire while you scream. Yeah, y'all gonna be in cahoots real bad. Y'all gonna be locked in together forever. It's Linda and Heather, best friends. While you're suffering. Ah, Lord, say it ain't so. Like, say it ain't so. I feel like people who would do anything to make their lives like extraordinary, no matter how much suffering they're putting others through. People who do that, I think that they know. I'll take these off. I think they know internally that they're not going anywhere good. And you can just see it because I also see in this, like, even if you feel like you don't have a spiritual connection or you don't believe in something or whatever, even if you think that, right? Like, you can see it though in just how we live. Karma is a bitch. It is not, and it's not nothing to play with. Like, people don't get away with shit. You might think that they do, but they don't. And that's why I always say, like, I hate when people don't see the bigger picture of things. Or when what I say is people don't ask the right questions. You don't ask the right questions. Like, instead of being like, well, why does he get to have the brand new car even though he's done XYZ to people? This is the same motherfucker driving around in this brand new car. His daddy probably used to rape him when he was a kid. His mom probably got mental disability and don't love him. He was probably beaten, abused. He probably has no friends unless he pays them. The richest people in the world be the most loneliest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. Here's the reason why they be killing themselves all the time. Can't trust nobody. Why don't we ever look at that type of stuff? And that's why I tell people never idolize anybody else's life. Like, you can want to have particular things that people have. You can want a certain lifestyle. You can desire things. And when you see other people have them, you can want the things that some people have. But do not idolize anybody's life. Because you really don't know. You really don't know what their life is looking like. Or what they're dealing with. Or what they're going through. And I think about it all the time with, like, rich people, right? Like, so rich versus poor, right? Rich people, you as a poor person or a person who's living paycheck to paycheck might look at a rich person's life and be like, yeah, their life is amazing, their life is great, that's the reason why they're da. You know, like the uber rich. I'm not just talking about people who are particularly well off or comfortable. I'm talking about like the super rich, right? People who can go and buy a PJ and then be like, okay, I'm cool, I'm flying to wherever, Bora Bora or whatever, right? I was watching a show called what is the shit called? Not Succession. It's called something. Basically, like, it's like a business show where it's about a billionaire dad who owns like a boatload of companies, and owns like this big amusement park, and he's used that money to invest in other companies, and he's in everything, broadcasting and all that, right? Billionaire. His children have like inheritances and everything from him and all that stuff, and like the way that the dynamic in this show is insane. I couldn't imagine. Like, the kids will ask their dad, like the dad will be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be your inheritance or XYZ, this is the contract, and they'll be like, I have to discuss it with my lawyer first. You have to discuss something with your lawyer because you think that your dad is gonna fuck you over with your own inheritance. I couldn't imagine the thought process of how you have to always be looking over your shoulder and wondering what the next thing is going to happen because nobody has your back is insane. I was sitting back just thinking about, like, in the show, there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of backstabbing going on, right? And I'm not a wealthy person, so of course I'm not really sure about all the ins and outs, right, and the intricate details, but I'm sure that it's like that. And being somebody who worked at corporate, who's seen it firsthand, it's disgusting behavior. And I'm sure that how it is in that show is how it is in real life. And I was thinking about how, like, there was one time in the show where it was talking about basically the company going bankrupt because they owed an XYZ type of company some certain type of money, right? And there was this guy in there who's known for buying companies for pennies and selling them for parts, basically, right? And this guy was a long-term family friend of this family. And when he heard of the potential bankruptcy of the company, he was right there in that office waiting to buy their company out from under them. Like, he really all of, hey Sahil, what's up? Welcome back. We're talking about life and just things involving businesses, and I'm talking about a show that I was watching that really puts the rich people life into perspective. But like basically the friend, the guy came to him, like the son of the CEO, because like the CEO of the company, the billionaire dad of the company, he's basically losing his mind. He either has like dementia or something to the point where he's like he's not there. So basically him running the company is not working. So his second or third born, I think it's his second born, is running the company for him right now, and he's trying to take over. Hold on, I can't say. I think it's called Succession. Is it Succession? I think that's what it's called, Succession. If I'm not mistaken. Succession. Is that it? Yeah, Succession. It's called Succession. So the dad is like out of his wits, right? And so the son is trying to kind of like push his dad out of the company. He's trying to push him out of the company. So the son, I forgot his name, I'll just call him Chad. Chad, which is the billionaire son who's running the company currently, he basically came to this family friend and basically was just like, I'm freaking the fuck out because it's looking like I'm gonna lose my dad's company. And the dad, he's like in and out. Like some days he's lucid, some days he's there, and then other days he's pissing on the floor in the office. So it's like we don't know exactly what's going on with him, but he's just not fully. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow. Literally, he is just not there. So when Chad went and told this family friend, let's just call him Luke. When he went to go tell Luke, the dude who buys companies for pennies and sells them for parts, basically, Luke basically was like, I could take that off your hands. Basically, like, he's like, dude, I'm not coming to you so you can snatch my family's fucking livelihood away. You're supposed to be my friend. Why are you waiting on me to fall? You're basically waiting on me to fail. And he was like, no, you know, he's acting like he's not gonna do that, right? Just for him to be right there. He walked into that room, and there he was. There Luke was. And I was like, there's no way in my mind I can imagine. Yay, thank you. I appreciate you liking the video, liking the live. Thank you. See you later. Say he'll see you tomorrow. If I'm on tomorrow, I should be, but yeah. Literally, I'm not in the rich people space, but being someone who dealt with corporate people and been in the corporate space, that fakeness, that fake smilingness, all that shit, you don't know who the fuck you can trust. Quite literally, like especially in white corporate America, like you don't know who you can trust. It's insane. I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine having to have a lawyer? I don't know if y'all ever watched 50 Shades of Grey, but if you have, I couldn't imagine having to have a lawyer being involved in every single one of my interpersonal relationships. Could you? A lawyer being involved in every single one of my interpersonal relationships, romantically, platonically, work-wise, having to have an additional person attached to me to make sure that I'm not getting screwed. Can y'all imagine how depressing that is? Not knowing who you can trust, having to shield and hide your identity about who you are or what you have, so people don't come out and try to take you down or just use you, like in The Great Gatsby. Like I couldn't imagine personally. Like going through something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like some things that as poor people we might idolize or think is better, it might not be as correct as we make it to be. Like, you know, it might not be as great as we all make it seem. And don't get me wrong, of course being well off is what everybody's goal is. Everybody wants to live comfortably. Everybody wants to be happy. Nobody should be living paycheck to paycheck. Nobody should be suffering. So of course having money can help you and better your life, right? But at the same time, that phrase, more money, more problems, is a real thing. Like, because think about all the people who's ever won a lottery, right? Family members that they've never heard from, people who did them dirty in the past, all that extra stuff. Here they is coming off the woodwork, asking for money, helping them. Can you help me pay my rent and all this extra stuff? Now you're a nice person. Now you care about me. And if you don't do it for them, next thing you know, you a shitty person, a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't know. I couldn't imagine not having the genuine relationships that I have right now. Because I don't want to say I don't have anything to give my friends, but I don't have anything that could make them advantageous or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to have not the pressure and the weight on you to make sure that if you're dealing with this person, they're dealing with you because they actually care for you and not just because, you have something that they can get, you know, that I couldn't imagine. It's the same thing with like being famous. Like so many famous people have a very hard time building interpersonal relationships. And if you're a human being, everybody needs connection. Even people who be like, "Oh, I'm an introvert and I don't like to talk to people and I don't like people." Aha, you're a fucking liar. You cannot like people all you want to, but you still wish that you had a friend. You still wish that you could have somebody you could talk to, people that you can go out with, people that you can spend time with, people who can give you advice, people who can pick you up when you fall, people who give you words of encouragement when you feel like you're lost. Saying that you're an introvert does not mean that you do not want personal connection. It just means that you're probably not an extrovert, so you're not likely to stand up in the middle of a damn store and be like, "My name is Da." But that doesn't mean that you want to be alone for the rest of your life. You don't want no type of connection with no one. And those who don't go outside go online. We're humans. We crave connection with one another. And in some ways it's healthy, in other ways it's not. But we all crave that. Just like any other living, breathing creature. We're all drawn to each other to interact. So I couldn't imagine, as someone who grew up without a lot and went through hardship and poverty and things like that, I could not imagine though being put in a situation where I can't just naturally be myself and build a relationship with somebody solely off of who I am and not what I have. And like it's even harder, especially because you got to think about it. It's not even just people who are advantageous, like people who just want to take advantage of you to give them things. There's also malice people out there who enjoy destroying you. Like I'll use James Charles as a perfect example, right? James Charles, right? His relationship scandals always piss me off. And it's not for the reason that you think. These teenagers, right? Let's just go into relationships. When you're ever meeting someone or talking to someone, you trust them off the bat. My old teacher, Mr. Gill, used to say that trust is not earned, it's lost. So you learn to trust people right off the bat. You might not trust them with everything. Duh. There's calibers to your trust. You can build upon your trust. But when you first meet someone, it's kind of like when you're getting a first impression, you expect someone to be nice the first time you meet them. Or to not at least be an asshole, you know what I'm saying? Or not be a serial killer or something. You know what I'm saying? You hope that they're not that thing, right? Trust is the exact same way. You give people at least a little bit of your trust when you first meet them because you have to. You have to be willing to trust somebody in some way or shape or form, even if it's a little bit, just so you'll feel comfortable enough to get near them, comfortable enough to talk to them, comfortable enough to share things about you with them, right? So I wholeheartedly believe that trust is not only like trust can be built upon, but I don't think that trust is like earned. I don't think anybody not trust somebody the moment that you meet them. You have to give them a chance to show that they're untrustworthy. Does that make sense? So with those scandals with James Charles, it used to piss me off so bad because people used to be like, "You're a pedophile and you're talking to teenagers and da 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 da," right? And people would not dig further. And what frustrated me about that was that, like, when you dig further, if you look into the messages, you look at everything that was going on, these kids would lie about their age. And James, I think he's 26 this year, maybe. So this scandal was happening, like, maybe I think this happened 2 or 3 years ago now. But he was a young adult, right? And let's be completely honest. The time between 16 until you're like 25, you basically look the same. You might add a little bit of age here and there. Some people age a little bit differently than others. But for instance, if you look at my pictures from when I was 18 and how I look now, I look the same. I might look a little bit more mature, a little fatter, but a little bit more mature, but I look the same. Dang it, I barely changed my face, really. So it's like he would lie, these kids would lie to James and say, "Oh yeah, I'm 21, I'm 22, I'm 20, whatever," right? And James being a 22, 23-year-old, he's just like, "Oh, okay." When you are first talking to somebody, you wouldn't expect them to lie to your face right out the gate. And that's just any relationship, not just romantic. That's also platonic. That's also at work. You wouldn't expect them to lie to you straight out the gate, right? So people would hound him and try to slap the pedophilic label on him, right? about going after teenagers when it wasn't necessarily that. It was more so that he blindly trusts someone because that's what you do when you're trying to build connection. And these kids, which nobody was trying to hold them accountable, which killed me, right? These teenagers or young adults, I'll say, not even kids, these young adults were using it to gain clout, lying, making up stories, saying that he's doing XYZ just so they can get clout. Just so they can have their name all over the tabloid, just so they can have people talking about them, just so they can gain a following. They went into this dude's DMs, knew how to manipulated him, and then tried to play victim. And James, which he came out with a video saying that he had to talk, that he had to talk about this, but he did. But he basically had to come out basically saying that now I try to basically date like a regular person, but I can't do that. I can't. As a famous person, I can't do that. I either have to date other famous people or I have to date somebody who's not on the internet. And even if they're not on the internet and even if they are a famous person, I still have to have them vetted by my team. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine having to consult with your team, consult with your legal team, consult with your managers, consult with several different people who are in charge of your reputation just for you to date? Just for you to get to know somebody? Just for you to trust yourself enough to try to be in a relationship? Like, I don't think that people understand. And that's why a lot of people have been saying, like, as we get older, the more that the social media becomes more serious and bigger, privacy is going to become the new luxury. Because I personally could not imagine trying to build genuine connection with people, and I'm afraid that somebody's going to try to flip my words or make themselves out to be a victim or destroy my reputation or my career or make me out to be something that I'm not, solely so they could get some type of attention. Right? And at the end of the day, I understand these are, young adults, they're teenagers, so they do stupid shit, right? But that's where accountability needs to come in. I'm a huge accountability person. I feel like if you're old enough to do the deed, if you're old enough to act the fool, you're old enough to reap the consequences of your actions. You're old enough to reap the consequences of your actions. You weren't thinking about those consequences when you was doing it. Well, too bad they're here. Right? So when people ask, well, you're famous, you're rich, you have everything. A lot of things that we have, we take for granted. Do you know how many fucking celebrities can't just go to a restaurant and sit down and eat? Just think about the small things that we have to deal with as people, right? Imagine you just want to go, let's just say a typical day. You want to wake up, you want to run to the laundromat, you want to go to the grocery store, and then you want to go get Raising Cane's and come home, right? Imagine before you even walk out your fucking door, there's cameras in your face. People taking pictures of you. People asking you 1,000,001 questions. You finally get in your car, people are blocking your car. Taking pictures. Trying to ask you questions. Let's just say you make it to the laundromat. Let's just say you make it to the laundromat. You're trying to get your bags out. People are coming up to you. Some people have bad personal space. People coming up to you, touching you, grabbing you. Could you imagine? You finally get past the laundromat. This if you had no security or nothing. Finally get past the laundromat. You're trying to go to the grocery store. You're getting stopped at every single thing. The cashier is asking you 1,000,001 questions. You feel like you can't properly think because they're, oh, what are you going to be doing next, the XYZ? If you're famous enough, you're getting fucking swarmed. If you're famous enough, you're getting swarmed. Let's just say you make it to the laundromat, you make it through the grocery store after getting swarmed, after getting bothered, after getting stopped, after getting touched, after being grabbed, after having cameras all locked up in your face. And then you finally try to go get you some fast food. You think that everything's going to be nice, right? You get to the window, and the fucking person's like, oh my God, you're that person. Next thing you know, you have to sit there and put on the smiles, put on the chairs, and be all happy and go lucky to make sure they don't spit in your food or go on a tabloid to say that you're a shitty person because you didn't try to be nice. Imagine going through all of that shit and you're already having a bad day. You just woke up not feeling good. That doesn't sound, to me, that doesn't sound like something I would want to fully idolize. Now, of course, my ass I'm a social media type, so of course eventually I want to get to a caliber where I have a larger platform and such, right? But just imagine people who are like that. Right? I'll use Billie Eilish as like a perfect example too. Like people be throwing shit at her and artists are like her on stage. Could you imagine being assaulted? I forgot which I forgot which who what artist was that where somebody threw something at them and hit her like dead in her face. I forgot which artist that was. That she was performing or something happened. Was it Dua Lipa or it was some female artist and a fan or whoever threw something at her and hit her dead in her face. I couldn't imagine like these types of fucking things that happen to people. It's like you look at your life of just being a regular person with a regular life and you don't realize how often we take those tiny things for granted. I've seen so many videos where there's been celebrities who have gone into restaurants and they're just sitting there trying to eat and they can't even eat with their family. Can't eat with their family, with their friends, can't celebrate their birthday or their friend's celebration because every 2 to 3 damn minutes somebody's coming up expecting a picture, asking you for your autograph. And at the end of the day, I get it. You're an excited fan. You'll probably never see this person again. So you're trying to, commemorate this moment. But it's like, imagine being that person. The little shit that we have now, the little stuff that you can do now, you just lose the ability to do all of that. Now you have to have people following you around every day. You have to have a whole entourage, or at the very least, 2 or 3 security with you every day. Imagine every single mistake that you made being watched by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. It's like, I can just imagine how that can be depressing for some people. And then on top of that, add on top of that, if you don't have any real connections outside of your team or any real friends, where's your support system? And that's the reality for a lot of poor, not poor, but wealthy and famous people. And it's sad. When you sit there, you really think about it. So yeah, you might not have all the glitz and the glamour and the nice cars and the fancy things and all the wealth of the world. But I love to be a person to always appreciate what I have, never take anything for granted. Because the things that you think are just regular day things that don't really matter and it's fine, somebody is idolizing your life. Somebody is wishing that they had what you have. There's people out there who have been celebrities since they were kids. Don't know what privacy even means. Will never know what it means until they're dead. And even then, there are people who literally do stuff to people's graves. So some people can't even rest in peace. Like, literally, there are some celebrities who have passed on. They have to put fucking bars and shit up and to protect their graves because fans act a fool. I remember seeing a video of Anne Hathaway. She was like in London or something. She was in some type of different country. And they were swarming her. Swarming and surrounding her. And she had to like literally take a step back and sit there and talk to them calmly. She was like, I understand that y'all are excited. I understand it's your first time seeing me. But please do not crowd me. You are free to stand there and take pictures. But do not crowd me. Please do not grab me. All those things. Could you imagine having to do that? You just trying to walk to your house or walk into a store or walk into a restaurant. And you have to stop and tell a whole bunch of people, please do not touch me without my consent. Please do not grab me. Please do not swarm me. Strangers that you've never met. Enjoy what you have while you have it. Truly. Appreciate what you have. Because you might not have it one day. God forbid you're a person who was a regular person and found yourself dating a celebrity. Sometimes those people get eaten alive too. Could you imagine being the person who broke somebody's heart that was adored by their fans? You may as well say bye-bye to your life. I'll be watching those K-pop idols. My little sister is really into K-pop. She's really into K-pop. I'll be watching those, and she watching her and paying attention to what the hell she be doing, and she sometimes make me watch them. But the fan bases in Korea are insane. It is probably, I can't even explain it. It's like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen those K-pop like fans, but they are probably some of the most vicious people I have ever seen. Like, you do one thing, you make one tiny mistake, you drop out of the perfection box they put you in, they're sending funeral flowers to your house. And it's not just a few, it will be hundreds. They will talk about you so bad to the point they'll push you to suicide. And some of them do commit it. It's like, I couldn't imagine. I get a girlfriend and you're sending me funeral flowers? I missed a step on stage and you're saying that you hope that my legs break? What? I don't show up for a performance and you say you hope that I die? What? No. I forgot which person told me this. I think it was my best friends that told me that some of the K-pop idols are starting to flee to America and starting to perform mostly in America because the K-pop people are so horrible to them. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. You know, my goal is to, they are crazy, yeah. My goal is to eventually just like get to a caliber where I'm a celebrity that is known, a person who is known and liked, but I would never want to get to a caliber where I have a community of people who are like that. Like, I want the society to grow. Of course, I want my society members to grow. I want to do so many things with my platform. I want to do so many things with my career. Like, I want to get back into music and all types of stuff. But it's like, I don't want to ever get to a point where my society grows to the point where I have people who don't see me as a person. You know? They see me as what they want. Now, of course, we're all going to have crazy people and people who are not mentally well, and you can't really control everyone. But it's like, I want to have like a fan base. I want to have a fan base kind of like Bryson Tiller's. You know what I'm saying? Like a fan base kind of like Bryson Tiller's, like Tiana Taylor's. Like, these are people who are well known, but they're not like, they're well known, but their fan bases are interpersonal. So they're not like, how can I explain it? They don't treat you like you are a figurine. They don't treat you like you're not a real person. I would never want to be in a situation like that. I don't think I would ever want to be uh in like that type of situation, or in like on that type of level. Like, of course I want us to grow, of course I want us to have like a good, a good amount of us, but I want it to still be a situation where it's like, it's enough of us that y'all still see me as human. And I'm gonna have times where you know I might not be feeling the best, and y'all not gonna treat me like a pariah or whatever the fuck that's even the word. I don't know. I don't know. Because knowing some people can't just go to the grocery store, they can't, be regular, they can't walk down the street, you know, it's sad. And I would not want that for myself. Like, I wouldn't mind getting to the point where, like, I can meet you in person and everything like that. But I kind of want it to be like, kind of like De'Ara's, actually. Kind of like De'Ara's thing. Because, like, De'Ara, we don't see her day-to-day life, but you'll see, like, her at her, she did, like, recently did a pop-up. She recently did a pop-up a couple months ago. And at her pop-up, everybody was cool. Everybody waited in line. She went up to everybody, talked to everybody, hugged everybody. Everybody was cool. She didn't need like a whole bunch of security. People wasn't acting crazy. They took pictures with her. They talked to her. It was a good time. That's how I would want the society to be. I want us to be big enough that it's a good platform and I could build off of it and everything could be good. But I also want it to still be interpersonal connection, and I want us to be a knit community. You know, I don't want y'all to be my fan base. I want y'all to be my community, my peeps, my society. You know, my peeps. So all in all, you know, don't always idolize people's lives. It is okay to desire. It is okay to want. It is okay to be like, yep, that person has that thing, and I've been wanting that for my life too. It's perfectly fine for you to acknowledge that, but do not make it seem like, basically, do not be the person that if somebody asked you if you could swap places with whatever celebrity, who would it be? Don't be the person to answer that question. Be like, no one. Be no one, because you have absolutely no idea who life you can be getting. And having money makes more problems. It truly does. Truly. So I'm grateful that before I even get to a caliber where I'm like to that point where it's harder for me to be more interpersonal with y'all, like I'm happy that I was able to build my connections early on. I'm glad that I was able to have relationships with people early on. Know what it's like to build genuine connection with people early on before I'm even anything, you know. Because I have big dreams for myself, big plans for myself that I want. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Wild stuff. Dang, 6 minutes ago, it's already been an hour. Y'all be sitting here just talking. Y'all just be sitting here watching. I appreciate all of y'all, truly. What time do y'all think I should start coming on more? Cause like, I don't know. I feel like I came on. What did I come on? What time is it? No, I came on at 8. I only had like 2 votes for 5, but I don't know. Cause I feel like 5, especially during the work week, is a little too early. Just because I feel like people are just getting off work, you know. So what we thinking? Like 6, 7. Let's see what y'all say. Cause I'm not sure. I'm not sure what will work best. So, and would y'all prefer me to come on a weekday, during the weekends? Like, what do you think would be better? Let's have it up. Oh. Just right now, some stuff. What in the world? Just writing down some stuff. What's some other topics that y'all want me to talk about and do? Because I know I could talk all day. So, what's some other topics y'all want to hear about? I already did this one, but. Sorry, I just realized I was muted. Oh, why is it doing this? Oh, it's favorites. That's why. Y'all, I'm probably gonna hop back on in like an hour or so. I'm about to hop off really quick because I have to use the bathroom. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. Bye, bye, bye. I'll hop back on a little bit later.